one thing that I've realized in my life is that you can be rich by your own standards, of course, because there's always someone richer than you. You can wear the best clothes that money can buy. You can own the best cars. You can have the means to eat well, have the best chef in the world that would prepare you the most organic, plant-based, paleo, keto, all those diets that they have these days to keep us healthy. You can drink all the spring water from the best springs around the world. You can have access to the most expensive doctors. You can be physically fit because, hey, you're in the gym 7 days a week. Or maybe you even have a gym at home with an Olympic-sized swimming pool. You can take all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the supplements, and all the vaccines that you think your body needs. You can do yoga, Pilates, meditation, breath work, affirmations. You can run a marathon if you like. You can be the strongest man alive, the richest one, the fastest, the finest. You can have the best family with wonderful friends, financially secure. Money is not a problem. You can be physically okay, and mentally and emotionally, you can fake that one too, for a while at least. But I tell you, if you're not spiritually alive, there will always be something missing. You might not even know it. You would even argue that you're doing just fine. You will do everything because you have the means to do it. You will live your best life, or so you think. But what you don't know is that all of it is an attempt to suppress that one missing part, which is the spiritual part of you, the main part, the essence, the very core of who you are. I'm sure you've heard of people who, for instance, have lost their sight and their other senses, like their hearing, then becomes very sharp, way more active than normal. We're like that. When our spiritual part is missing, we sharpen all the other parts to overcompensate for it. You'll work more, you'll gym more, you'll make more money, you'll party more, you'll enjoy more, you'll travel more, you will drink more, you'll celebrate more, because you are attempting to put a masking tape over a tumor and hoping that that tumor will not be cancerous. But trust me, you'll still feel less fulfilled. You'll feel incomplete, even fearful of the risk of losing everything that you're working more of, that you focused on. You pretend that you're fulfilled in front of the world. In fact, your ego will convince you that you're on top of your game, that you have never been happier, that all is well. Because, well, look around you. You have all the trappings to show for it. You have everything you need, and this is the life. Because that is what your ego has been trained to do. It's been trained to keep you sane and alive. After all, it is bound to time and space. This is its domain. When you have any issues whatsoever, say you're feeling low, all your ego has to do is scan the environment and try to find a solution. Like, what do people do when they're feeling low? Then it will come up with several options for you to choose from. Maybe you should buy yourself an expensive drink. That should make you feel better. Or maybe call that friend of yours to come and keep you company. Or maybe let's go shopping, buy something nice. Maybe get ourselves a nice pair of shoes or a new car. You'll feel good. Or maybe let's go somewhere exotic to relax on holiday, live our lives like the Bahamas. Your ego is like a computer program. It's always coming up with various options for you to choose from. But then, as you mature, you realize, all these options are always temporary and fleeting. None of it ever gives you a lasting buzz. It's only a matter of time before you feel down again and you need something new or some new place to go. Everything else that you do more of is always to overcompensate for what's missing, and a life of living in fear that it all might end. Life becomes an opportunity for you to escape. You realize you're either running from something or you're running to something. But either way, you're always running. And all that running is the dial that turns down the volume of our inner voice that keeps trying to remind us that, hey bro, hey girl, something is still missing. It reminds you that all of this could suddenly end, and then what? That you're on borrowed time, that it all doesn't last, that life is too short, that eternity is not assured, that someday you will die, and then what? That one little health scare could end it all, one cancer diagnosis, and everything is not the same. One financial crisis and everything shuts down. One pandemic and everything locks down. And then all those things that you were doing more of, partying more, celebrating more, working more, how much of it will you be able to do then? We always think that we're in control, like we've got it all together, but we forget how quickly it can grind to a halt. So for me, over the years, I decided to go on a quest into my inner self, to find balance, to stop with the distraction, to find my peace of mind by listening to that quiet inner voice and not having to look externally for it to compensate. Because it was never available externally. It wasn't in the people, the places, or the things. We are always seeking balance in our lives, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, in decent proportions. Nothing must be one-sided or extreme. Nothing must be too much or too little. For instance, if you look at the body of a bodybuilder, those huge bodybuilders, it's ridiculously big. And then if you look at the body of a marathon runner, it's ridiculously skinny. So both are extremes and it's unnatural. And the same goes in our lives. You cannot be so spiritual that you deprive yourself of enjoying the goodness of the material world. But you cannot also be so human that all you do is focus on the material and the physical world and forget that you are spirit from a spiritual world. What I found was that in seeking spiritual balance for yourself, everything else that you were trying to do more of becomes complementary to your life. You find more joy, more happiness, more good health, more financial success when you need it, more good food, a much healthier body. Everything shows up to complement the spiritual nature of who you are. You find that inner calm, so that no matter what's going on externally or materially, it will not shake you on the inside. It will not touch the spiritual core of who you are. So many people believe that they're comfortable and that life is good and nothing is missing and they don't need anything spiritual. But I tell you, a lion can only be on a plant-based diet for so long before it tires of it, before it's reminded that it was born to eat meat. Because someday events will come to its aid. They will cut that grass. Something will have to wake it up and say, hey lion, by the way, you're a carnivore. You can't keep eating grass. And if nothing wakes it up, then it is no longer a lion. It's as good as lost. So no matter how much we try to disguise our lives as good and balanced, we will always fall short if spiritually there's something lacking. After all, we are spirits, and being spiritual is our natural state of being. And so each one must do the work of finding out for themselves what it means to be a spiritual being. When this subtle inner voice is trying to get our attention and we keep ignoring it, and then we look into the world for our quick fix, our quick distractions, it won't be long before it brings us pain and suffering. Because we are living in fear and we're not living in our highest potential. And in that case, what's the point? So until next time, remember, to live a beautiful life, you must find balance in the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual, especially the spiritual state of being. You can't keep being a lion on a plant-based diet when you were born to be a carnivore. How long do you want to be focused on only the physical and the material on earth when you are a spirit needing spiritual activity in order to survive and in order to thrive? So until next time, think about this. Take good care. Bye for now.